Hi, Arjama. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate you getting on with us and kind of sharing with us all about your expertise and what you bring to the judging panel. So I appreciate you jumping on.
Thank you, Russ. It's an honor for me to be here as well.
Now, you work at Amazon. You do, I think, Amazon devices, but you're also AI researcher, an author. You've got patents, and of course, you're a judge. Um, so you've done everything from like research to startups. How would you describe, your career in 3 words so far?
I think it's very difficult to describe in 3 words, but on a high level, what I can say is that my overall career journey has always been on building systems that kind of combine intelligence and also impact. Uh, so I have worked across various industries. So I have worked across the energy sector, manufacturing sector, and now I work in Amazon, of course, in devices. Uh, Other than that, I have also researched, did a lot of research on my some on my own, some with some of the great professors. One of them also got a Nobel Prize. Uh,
Wow.
but yeah, in a nutshell, I would like to say that yeah, my whole career has been research come development, something for impact. Because I always believe that if we just research something and keep it in papers, that's kind of not enough. We have to bring it into practical impact.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk to you about that because I think you've got a lot of experience there. You
Uh-huh.
lead this Amazon's Peregrine initiative. What problem is that solving? So it's an interesting to read about that.
Uh, yeah, sure. So I currently work in Amazon in the forecasting domain, where where my primary job is to forecast or build forecasting systems for Amazon devices. So forecasting systems can be of two kinds. One is the forecasting of the devices that we produce and how much devices will be sold, or maybe how on what price we must sell those devices. But the project that I lead is the reverse of that. That's kind of called reverse logistics, where we also forecast that how many devices are going to get returned, because that's called the reverse supply chain. um, that is also one of the most important things, because the scale at which Amazon sells devices and also people return, I think it's very important that we forecast that how many returns we are going to get so that we can place it in the appropriate workshops.
Yeah, we don't think about that reverse supply chain, but it's getting more common in every day, isn't it? It's
Yep.
like we're buying things and returning them,
Mhm.
just to see what they are. And it's got to be very complex and a big issue to solve for Amazon.
Yeah, of course. I think it's quite a complex issue, because given that Amazon works in so many countries and also across the US, uh, I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we also want to take care of, so that uh, we can also kind of serve our customers the best, not only in terms of delivery but also in terms of returns.
Yeah. Now you've got experience both in academia and industry. How do you bridge that gap between like research and what's possible and that real world impact of about knowing more about what you can actually get done? How do you kind of how do you take that academia and apply it to industry?
Yeah, I think in academia we have a lot of freedom to kind of experiment things, because we don't have the pressure of delivering products, or I would say uh, delivering or delivering monetary value. Uh, my way of doing that is mostly like things that I have done in academia, how do I apply in my day-to-day work. So for example, if I had some paper in the past, and I have always believed that academia is something that is far ahead of the industry, uh, and slowly the industry, once the fact is proven, then the industry catches up on that. So I would mostly use the learnings from my previous research as well as learnings from other research papers which I always read through in the work, and think that how that can be applied uh, maybe within any kind of work I am doing to make it more scalable. Uh, how that can be applied to take it to the next level. Uh, Now the thing is that we always find some differences. Like it's not that in while writing a research paper we think about all the corner cases. It's like, for example, while writing a research paper we have some data which is like a very small data, and we kind of do some experiments on that and we get some results, and we are happy that okay, that's great results. But when we come actually to the real world, then we find that those data sets become very big, and maybe in the size of terabytes. And once you are kind of working on those, there are many corner cases which come, and that we have to tackle. So that is something I think as a great thing. Academia is something that provides us a starting point for doing something great and impactful, and after that we have to uh, kind of navigate through it during the implementation phase uh, to get the desired results.
Yeah, it is about implementation, right? It's about how you apply it and applying it to whatever problem, and the problems are always different.
Yeah.
But so looking back on kind of your work and your even in your research, is there a project that completely surprised you where the outcome wasn't what you expected, but you still shaped kind of like how you were thinking about it?
I think there were multiple of those, but I would like to talk about one of those when I used to do research with a professor, Dr. Leland Hartwell, who in fact received the Nobel Prize I talked about. The research I was doing there is completely something which is not in alignment. No, I would say it is slightly in alignment, but not fully in alignment with the work stream that I have my experience. Uh, it was mostly on developing games for psychological experiments. It was more on how you can expand the human mind to think even more, or to go beyond what they can do right now. So, yeah, I never thought that that domain might be interesting to me. I thought to try it out and see that how it goes. But as I was developing those games, I felt that I really felt something that I'm doing something good for the world. We initially started our experiments on students, on the professor's students, I remember still, and then slowly expanded it to other sets of people. Uh, but yeah, that was something that was very interesting to me. Although at first I just thought to try it out, but later it became very interesting, and I really thought that I was developing something which through which we can actually expand, or at least try to expand human intelligence, or the psychological behaviors.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
It gets a little scary pretty quick. What do you see happening in AI that's kind of going to be that kind of important shift that we're seeing? What are you seeing today that you're like, oh man, that's going to have a real impact on AGI or whatever we're working on?
So, yeah, I think that there has been a considerable shift in AI in recent years. I think earlier AI was more and more used more like an analytical tool, and rather than analytical tool to make some decisions, which mostly my work focuses on as well. But nowadays, with the coming of AGI, as you said, and generative I think AI is also taking a step further ahead, in which AI can actually assist people uh, in doing their jobs. When I say assist people in doing their jobs, it can be a software developer in writing his or her code. So we have multiple products like GitHub Copilot in the market, or even ChatGPT, or similar kind of products which have come up, maybe Claude. So these are something that can help a software developer write his or her code, also help a data scientist maybe develop something. I think that is kind of a considerable shift from the way we used to think AI. I think all this happened after this generative AI became so popular in last few years. Uh, Yeah, definitely one thing that is going to change is like I think it's kind of another revolution for software development. Like we had earlier big computers and we used to kind of use assembly language for coding, and then there was a shift to kind of little low level languages, and then there was a shift to high level languages. I feel I'm not sure, but I feel that at some point it will be kind of we just give prompts. It will be more about prompts and the AI themselves developing a software or kind of any analytics that we want to take decisions. But
Now, in that, I guess that effort you did with the psychological games, you're kind of bridging that responsibility and ethics decision. How do you see the future of AI balancing that, kind of efficiency of what we're seeing with, workload with responsibility and ethics, like kind of what we should do?
yeah, I think that responsibility and ethics is a big thing or big question in AI, which I think multiple companies are also looking forward to. Because one of the big question is that okay, if you're using AI to develop something, if something goes wrong, who is responsible for that? That's where we talk about responsible AI. Uh, I think that's kind of a gray area in multiple places right now. We don't have a concrete answer to it. But yeah, I definitely feel, personally, I feel that the person using AI should take the responsibility because I don't think that AI will come in such a way that it can replace someone or do things on their own. It's kind of for Tesla autonomous car where they always say that okay, there is an autonomous car, but it's the responsibility of the driver who needs to be awake and see that things are going right or not. So it's kind of you can think of like maybe the jobs will or transition to uh, kind of everyone will be kind of uh, project managers who are managing the AI to kind of do their work, but they are the ones who should be responsible to supervise it and also see, also check, and I think make it double sure that those things work as expected and they see all the corner cases.
Yeah,
uh,
it helps to have a manager, right? I mean, we need to manage the AI. We need
yeah,
to be managed. It helps to have feedback, and
yeah.
all of that's human. If AI was going to give you feedback on your work, what do you think it would say?
I think it's already there. I think AI, we already have, I think in multiple AI systems, AI gives feedback on humans' work as well, including code reviews. I think we have multiple AI agents currently doing that. Uh, I think that's kind of good, that AI giving feedback on the human work because I can give you a very simple example that humans are very prone to errors. So let's say the human is writing a code. A very simple thing that can happen is a spelling mistake maybe, so or a typo somewhere, and it's kind of annoying to go through all those things and fix the typos. That's where I think AI can help. Also there are some cases maybe let's say which can cause an error and which we as human when we look at it might not very think at it right at that moment. So AI is something which has been trained on multiple such cases, and maybe it can help us also say okay, these are the possible errors, and the human can take corrective actions on it. So I think it's kind of a cycle. It's not that human giving feedback to AI, and it's like both ways. AI also giving feedback to human. But the thing
Yeah.
is that like when AI is giving feedback to human, I don't think that AI is responsible for it. The human is still responsible for it. So the responsibility lies with the human, irrespective of whoever is giving the feedback.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think you always have to measure feedback with a grain of salt too, of who's giving it to you and
yeah.
what their context is, right? When we pride ourselves on not using AI to score nominations. We use humans like you to use them. What makes a award nomination to you stand out when you're reading them?
Yeah. So I think I like the concept that you don't use AI for scoring nominations and humans, because one thing which I have seen with AI is that so every human who has given a nomination, they are very good in marketing, of course. So that's why they are giving it, and it looks very good. So if you see from a context of how great the product is, I think AI will not be able to kind of distinguish well between maybe those kind of flashy words and the actual impact. So there I feel that there I think the expertise of humans comes in, uh, where they can actually look through the whole thing and try to understand that, hey, okay, this is the thing that this nomination is trying to make or have made, and actually evaluate the real tangible impacts of those of the particular nomination. Uh, so yeah, I think when I judge a nomination, that's my evaluation philosophy, that I would kind of look beyond the shiny marketing stuff. I would kind of focus on three things. One is the measurable impact, another is scalability of the product, and third is innovation. So, and then I would kind of try to see the outcomes. And when I talk about outcomes, I mean both in terms of, let's say, quantitative outcomes, maybe what's the ROI of this or what's the efficiency of this, and also kind of the qualitative impact of that work. So by qualitative impact, we can maybe see that, okay, how will be the customer experience? Because I mean, I think products can be developed. I mean, we can make multiple products, but the end goal is that if we are solving the actual customer problem, if we are
Right.
giving the right thing to the customer. So yeah, and also the other thing which I usually see is uh, so how it is well aligned with future, so how it can how the product can grow in the future as well. Is it like just a product for today, just a product for solving a problem which is today, or is the company or the person prepared for solving solving the problems which will be there tomorrow or in future as well.
And what do you think the biggest mistake companies make when they're submitting a nomination?
I think the biggest mistake most people make is that, as I told, they think that the more shiny words you use, the better it looks. But rather, I feel that if the focus is purely on the work, what they have done, it's like very kind of quantitative, that okay, this is what I have done, this is the exact impact of it, this is what I'm thinking of the future prospects. That is kind of more beneficial than writing that, okay, we have done an outstanding work which was praised by so many people, because that is kind of something that cannot be verified, or that cannot be like that it's like a very normal human tendency to as a judge of any work, to kind of believe in something which has some figures attached to it, because the person who has worked on it day and night will know the exact kind of quantitative uh, quantitative values, or kind of the profits or those kind of things associated with that product. So I believe that that is very important to mention clearly, rather than having the other visual words.
Yeah, the real results are what matters, and I've
Yeah.
seen that. I've noticed that too, and it definitely the judges weed that stuff out, kind of the overly fluffy
Mhm.
content out pretty quick. Now you've mentioned that you're a mentor and you do a lot of work with startups. I think you've reviewed for IEEE and everything. What do you find is the biggest piece of advice that you give to new innovators?
I think for new innovators, what I would say is that, yeah, I have seen out of all the startups I have mentored, I see a common trend that people try to just um, kind of solve the problem which might not be existing or which might exist. Uh, I would give advice to everyone to kind of reverse engineer from an existing problem that customers or people usually face. So once they reverse engineer kind of a solution, I would say not to jump into going, I mean, not to jump into making the product right away, maybe after that they thought of something and they can do kind of a customer survey, a prospective customer survey. They can roll out some surveys in which they can get feedback that, okay, do customers think that this is going to work or not? So on the overall idea. And I think the next thing is that what they need to do is that make a prototype and give it to multiple customers, maybe at the initial stage for free of cost, maybe uh, to few customers, to get their feedback that, oh, is it even working? And are the customers, rather than the working, it's, I think more important is the user experience. That's why people buy, I think customers buy Nike shoes over any other shoe, or that kind of brand, or Adidas shoes over that, because I think the comfort, the user experience that they give is better. So I think that is something very important for new innovators.
Now, where's the most unconventional place that you found inspiration for solving a technical problem? We all find it in the shower or in a research paper, maybe. Where have you found inspiration?
Oh, that is kind of a difficult question. But okay, yeah, I think for most, yeah, for most of the problems that I solve, and if I am stuck somewhere and I want to get inspired, I get inspiration from two things. One would be very weird, that is from my dreams. Because yeah, I think like if I get a good sleep after constantly thinking on something, I think that it's and when I wake up after a good sleep, I feel more fresh, and maybe I will see some dream which inspires me. That is one thing. Or a second thing is when I go out, maybe I go out for a hike, or I go out for uh, I just go out to some place outside over there, maybe out of state somewhere in the mountains or in the oceans, and I suddenly get some ideas at that time.
I think Steve Jobs famously walked people in meetings. Like people would come to his house or come to and they would have a hard decision, and he would literally say, "Let's take a walk," and it would fuel their brain. So you're doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Now,
think.
outside of work, what keeps you busy?
Oh, outside of work, I think I just took up a recent hobby, that's cooking, and I tried cooking new dishes almost every week. So that is something that keeps me busy, and also I kind of try to on research on foods. uh, Also nowadays, like I think I am also starting into multiple games. Uh, like I already played indoor games, but a little bit of outdoor games like pickleball, which is kind of keeping me busy nowadays.
Well, we'll have to come and meet somewhere in the middle of the country and we'll play some pickleball.
Yeah,
I,
sure.
I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's easy to play. All right, so we've got our quick fire round now where I ask you a couple of different questions, one or two words for answers, and it's just off the top of your head. Technology or tool you love that most people wouldn't expect.
Oh, I think that would be email.
Email?
Yep.
Oh, you love email. Okay. You're the one. All right, if you could collaborate with any historical innovator, tech or not, who would it be?
I think it would be Steve Jobs.
It would be pretty amazing. He'd probably tear all of our products apart.
Yeah.
What's one word that you'd describe the next 10 years of AI and kind of the development path we're on?
I think AI will be an assistant to humans. AI will be a great assistant to humans in the next 10 years.
That's great. Arjama, thank you for talking with us. We really appreciate it. It was a great discussion on AI and everything that you're working on.
Yeah, thank you. It was a
I,
pleasure.
I appreciate the talk.
Yeah.